Hello and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Mark.
And I'm Jessica. We're so happy you're here with us today.
In this episode, we're going to talk about something super practical. How to talk about your day in English.
Exactly. It might sound simple, but believe me, talking about your daily life is one of the best ways to practice English. Why? Because you do it every single day, so you'll never run out of material.
Right. You don't need special vocabulary or complicated grammar. Just by describing your morning, your work or school, and your evening, you're already building fluency.
And here's the good news. Today we'll show you step by step how to talk about your day. We'll share useful vocabulary, natural expressions, and even do a mini role play so you can hear how it sounds in real English conversation.
By the end of this episode, you'll feel confident describing your own day in English from morning to night.
So grab a notebook or just relax and listen. Let's get started.
So Jessica, let's dive right in. Why do you think talking about your day is such a powerful English practice?
Well, first of all, it's practical. Every learner has a day, right? Morning, afternoon, evening, these are experiences we all share. You don't need to search for a special topic. You just use your real life.
That's so true. And when you talk about your real life, the vocabulary becomes meaningful. For example, if I say, I made coffee this morning, I'm not memorizing a random sentence. I'm telling the truth about my day, and that sticks in my memory.
Exactly. It's personal. Another reason is that it helps you think in English. When you describe your daily activities, you train your brain to switch from your native language to English naturally.
Right. And it's also great for improving fluency. Sometimes learners get stuck because they only practice unusual topics, like space exploration or climate change. Those are good, but in daily conversation, people often ask, "How was your day?" or "What did you do today?"
Yes, if you can answer those questions smoothly, you'll sound much more confident and natural in everyday conversations.
I also think it's the easiest way to practice different tenses. For example, when I describe what I already did, I use past tense. I went for a run. If I talk about what I'm doing right now, I use present tense. I'm recording a podcast. And if I talk about my plans, I use future tense. I'll cook dinner later. All three tenses in one short story about my day.
That's a really good point. So by simply talking about your day, you're naturally practicing grammar, vocabulary, fluency, and even confidence.
And you don't need a teacher for this. You can practice alone. Just retell your day to yourself, record it on your phone, or even write it in a short daily journal.
Exactly. Simple, powerful, and effective. All right, let's start with the first part of the day, the morning routine. Mark, how do you usually begin your mornings?
Well, honestly, I'm not a morning person. But usually, I wake up around 7 a.m. Then I check my phone, brush my teeth, and make a cup of coffee.
That sounds familiar. And notice the verbs Mark used. Wake up, check my phone, brush my teeth, make coffee. These are very common morning verbs.
Exactly. And if I want to make it sound smoother, I can connect my sentences. Instead of just listing them, I might say, I usually wake up around 7, then I check my phone, brush my teeth, and make some coffee before starting work.
Yes, that's a natural flow. Learners can use words like then, after that, before, and finally to connect ideas. For example, first, I wake up. After that, I take a shower. Then, I eat breakfast. Finally, I get dressed and leave the house.
That's a perfect mini-story. And you can add little details to make it more interesting. Instead of just saying, I eat breakfast, you could say, I usually eat bread and cheese for breakfast. Or, I grab a quick sandwich because I'm always late.
Yes, details make it sound more natural. Learners don't need to use complicated words, just be specific. For example, I drink green tea instead of coffee, or I take the bus to school in the morning.
Let's give our listeners a quick example. I'll describe my morning again in a natural way. I usually wake up at 7. The first thing I do is check my phone. Then I brush my teeth and make a cup of coffee. After that, I take a quick shower. And finally, I sit down at my desk to start work.
That's great. And here's my version. I usually wake up at 6. I like to stretch a little in bed, then I drink a glass of water. After that, I prepare breakfast, usually oatmeal with fruit. Then I get ready and leave for the office.
Perfect. 2 different morning routines, both using simple English.
So, listeners, here's your tip. Practice describing your morning using the words wake up, get up, brush, eat, drink, go, start. Add details and connect your sentences with then, after that, before, finally.
If you can do that, you're already telling a story in English. All right, so after the morning comes the afternoon, usually the busiest part of the day. For me, that means work.
Same here. And for many of our listeners, it could be work, school, or university. No matter what you do, you can practice describing it in English.
Exactly. For example, I might say, I usually start work around 9 a.m. In the afternoon, I answer emails, join meetings, and work on projects. Around 1 p.m., I take a lunch break. Then I get back to work until about 5 p.m.
That's a great model. And notice how you used time expressions. Around 9 a.m., around 1 p.m., until about 5. Time phrases make your story clear.
Yes, and if you're a student, you could say something like, in the afternoon, I usually have classes. After lunch, I go to math class. Then I study in the library for a couple of hours.
Perfect. And let's add some useful verbs for this part of the day. Study, read, write, attend, join, finish, review. For workers, email, meet, call, plan, prepare, report.
Good point. Let's do a quick mini example. Jessica, how would you describe a typical afternoon for you?
Let's see. After lunch, I usually prepare lessons for my students. I check their homework, write lesson plans, and sometimes record short videos. In the late afternoon, I reply to emails and finish any urgent tasks before leaving the office.
Nice. That sounds busy. For me, it's after lunch, I often join online meetings. Then I spend some time editing podcasts and writing scripts. Around 4 p.m., I usually take a short coffee break before finishing my tasks.
And that's exactly how learners should practice. Use simple sentences, connect them with words like after, then, around, until, and add time phrases like in the afternoon, after lunch, in the late afternoon.
Yes, don't just say, I work or I study. Add details. Even 1 or 2 extra words make your English more natural.
So listeners, here's your challenge for this part. Try to describe your afternoon at work or school in 3 to 4 sentences. Mention the time, the activity, and 1 detail.
That's the secret, short stories about real life.
So, after a long day of work or study, we finally get to the evening, the time to relax.
Yes, evening is my favorite part of the day. For me, I usually cook dinner around 7 p.m. Then I eat while watching a TV show.
That's a classic. And here are some useful evening verbs. Cook, eat, watch, spend, call, relax, hang out, read, listen. You can combine them to describe your evening.
Exactly. For example, in the evening, I usually cook dinner and eat with my family. After that, I relax on the sofa and watch a series on Netflix. Before bed, I read a few pages of a book.
That's a great flow. Notice again the connectors. After that, before, in the evening. These make your English sound natural and easy to follow.
What about you, Jessica? What's your typical evening like?
Well, I usually finish work around 6. Then I like to go for a short walk to clear my mind. After that, I cook something simple for dinner, maybe pasta or salad. In the evening, I often talk with my family on the phone. Finally, before bed, I listen to some music or a podcast.
That's really nice. And see how Jessica added details. Something simple like pasta or salad, or talk with my family on the phone. Those small details make your English feel real and personal.
Yes, learners don't need to make their story complicated, just add a little extra information. For example, instead of "I watched TV," say "I watched a comedy show on YouTube."
Or instead of "I read a book," say "I read a mystery novel before going to bed."
Exactly. And don't forget bedtime expressions. Go to bed, fall asleep, set an alarm, stay up late. You can end your story with, "Finally, I go to bed around 11 and fall asleep quickly."
So listeners, here's your practice tip. Tonight, before bed, try describing your evening out loud in English. Even just 3 sentences will help. What you ate, what you did to relax, and when you went to bed.
It's the perfect way to end your day and improve your English at the same time.
All right, Jessica, I think it's time for some practice. Let's show our listeners how to describe a full day in English.
Great idea! Why don't you go first? Tell me about your day yesterday.
Okay, here goes. Yesterday, I woke up around 7 a.m. The first thing I did was check my phone. Then I brushed my teeth and made some coffee. After breakfast, I started work at 9. In the afternoon, I had 2 meetings and worked on editing a podcast script. Around 1 p.m., I had lunch, just a sandwich, and then I kept working until about 5. In the evening, I cooked dinner, watched a TV show, and finally went to bed around 11.
That was perfect, Mark. Very natural. And notice, listeners, how he used time words. Yesterday around 7 a.m., in the afternoon around 1 p.m., finally. These little markers help your story sound clear.
Exactly. Now it's your turn, Jessica. Tell us about your day.
All right, let me try. Yesterday I woke up early, around 6. I stretched a little and drank some water before breakfast. After that, I went to the office and prepared lessons for my students. In the afternoon, I checked homework, answered emails, and had a quick lunch with a friend. Later, I went for a short walk before heading home. In the evening, I cooked pasta, called my parents, and then relaxed by listening to music. Finally, I went to bed at 10:30.
That was really good. I like how you added small details, like a quick lunch with a friend and listen to music before bed. Those details make your story more interesting.
Yes, and learners, you don't have to tell a long story. Even 5 to 6 sentences with time expressions and details are enough to describe your whole day.
Exactly. And here's a tip. If you practice this every evening, even just for 1 minute, your English will improve fast.
So true. Retelling your day in English is like a free daily speaking lesson. Now, before we move on, let's quickly talk about some common mistakes learners make when describing their day in English.
Yes, mistake number 1 is mixing tenses. Many learners say things like, "Yesterday, I wake up at 7," instead of, "Yesterday, I woke up at 7." If you're talking about the past, make sure your verbs are in the past tense.
That's a big one. Mistake number 2, being too short or repetitive. Some learners only say, "I wake up," "I eat," "I sleep." That's okay for beginners, but to improve, try adding details. I wake up at 7, then I brush my teeth and eat bread with tea for breakfast.
Exactly. And mistake number 3 is forgetting connectors. If you just list sentences, it sounds robotic. Use words like then, after that, finally, before, to make your story flow smoothly.
And the last mistake? Learners sometimes think they need advanced words to sound good, but in reality, simple words are perfect. Instead of trying to say, I consumed nourishment, just say, I ate lunch. Clear and natural.
Yes, keep it simple, add details, and connect your sentences. That's the formula. All right, before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of some useful vocabulary and expressions you can use when talking about your day.
Yes, let's go through the day step by step. For the morning, you can say, wake up, get up, brush my teeth, take a shower, eat breakfast, drink coffee, leave the house.
For the afternoon, especially for work or study, useful verbs are start work, have classes, study, read, write, join a meeting, send emails, take a lunch break, finish tasks.
And in the evening, you might say, cook dinner, eat with family, go for a walk, relax, watch TV, listen to music, call a friend, go to bed, fall asleep.
Don't forget the connectors. First, then, after that, before, finally. These little words make your English sound smooth and natural.
Exactly. And remember, you don't need fancy vocabulary. Simple words with good structure and details are the key.
So keep these expressions in mind when you practice telling your day.
All right, listeners, it's time for your daily challenge. Today, we want you to describe your day in English.
Yes, don't worry about making mistakes. The key is practice. You can do it out loud, or even write it down if that's easier.
Here's a tip. Start with the morning, then the afternoon, and finally the evening. Use the vocabulary and connectors we talked about today. For example, I woke up at 7, then I had breakfast. In the afternoon, I studied English and answered emails. In the evening, I cooked dinner and watched a TV show.
Exactly. Try to include time expressions, connectors, and a few details. Even a short story with 5 to 6 sentences is enough to make great progress.
And if you can, record yourself and listen back. You'll notice areas to improve, maybe pronunciation, sentence flow, or details.
So today's challenge: tell the story of your day in English. Make it natural, add details, and connect your sentences.
We promise if you do this every day, your English will get stronger and more confident fast.
And that's it for today's episode. We hope you now feel more confident talking about your day in English.
Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing is practice every day. Even a few sentences about your morning, afternoon, and evening will make a big difference over time.
Yes, keep adding details, use the connectors we shared, and speak out loud whenever you can. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
Thanks so much for listening today. Don't forget to try today's challenge and describe your day in English. You'll be amazed at how much you improve in just a week.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep speaking, keep learning, and have a great day.
Bye for now.